Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with international speaker, personal development and business coach, and best-selling author, Dr. Denise Moore Revel. For over 25 years, she has literally helped people find their voices. As a speech-language pathologist, her job has been helping her clients discover their voice. Dr. Denise founded the Own Your Amazing movement as an extension of the message of finding your own voice and living your worth out loud. Through workshops, Dr. Denise empowers women to find their unique voice, live their worth out loud, and create amazing lives they love. Enjoy this interview.
Thanks for taking a minute out. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into your life and what you do exactly, I want to know, the last couple of years with COVID was quite trying for everybody. And I'm curious how you survived that time period and how it's changed the way that you live your life and approach business now that we're coming out of it, or that things are opening up more.
Oh, yeah, I was definitely impacted. My career is I'm a speech language pathologist. And so I had to work during COVID, but also was concerned about my own health and also my family and my friends who were also impacted by it. So, but it caused me to have to pivot and do some things differently in my business. To say it was, not a stressful time would be an understatement, but through it all, now that I feel like I'm on the other side of it, one of the biggest things is to learn how to pivot in your business when necessary, but also learn how to really take care of yourself during those times as well.
There's so many things that are a part of what you do. You mentioned speech, you're a speaker and a coach and a best-selling author. So I'm curious, if I put you in front of a bunch of grade school kids right now, third graders, and one of them looks up and says, "What do you do for a living?" How would you answer them?
I tell them I'll teach people how to communicate and to show up powerfully in their lives, whether they're a third grader or a 30-year-old. And I think they could understand that.
Certainly so, yeah. So when you were in the third grade, what did you dream that you were going to grow up and become?
Actually, I didn't. I didn't have those things where I want to be this when I grew up, because I had such low self-esteem. Even though I did well in school, I still struggle with thinking like, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? And so it was not a thing where I was like, oh, I want to be a doctor when I grew up or an attorney. None of those things, I just wanted to kind of survive it all, as best I could. And so there are a lot of people like that. I think when we ask people at a very young age, what do you want to do when you grow up? That's a very hard question to answer, especially when you don't know who you are. And so I didn't think I was going to be a speech pathologist. I tell people I didn't find speech pathology. I felt like it found me. And it has definitely been the calling, the purpose I feel like I was sent here to do was to empower people to find their voices, whether I'm working with a third grader, who's stuttering, or a woman who is struggling in her own life to find her own self-identity. It's still all about being empowered.
So you say this career found you. Tell me exactly the beginnings of you working in this profession. How did it happen? How did it come about?
It came about because I was really good in math and, again, not really knowing what I wanted to do. And so my teachers, everyone around me said, oh, great, you should be an accountant. I was like, okay, that sounds good. I can use my math skills. So in high school, I took an accounting class, and I was bored to tears. I was like, okay, the numbers add up, but I wanted to talk about the numbers. But my accounting teacher was always telling me to be quiet, And so then I was like, well, okay, that's not for me. And then my math teacher actually said, I think you should major in math when you go to college. And so I actually did my freshman year. But then I was like, I don't think that's it either. And so luckily for me, the school I was attending had a class for people who were undecided majors. Again, they understood, well, everybody doesn't have it all figured out just yet. So every week, every few weeks, they would have a different professional to come in and talk about their careers. And lo and behold, a speech pathologist came in there. And it intrigued me. And so I remember a few days later after the person came in, I went and visited that department and found out more about it. And I was like, oh, wow, I think this is it for me. And that's how I got into speech therapy.
So all of these seeds that sprout start very young for us. And there's things from your childhood that happen that make you who you are now. Take me back to your childhood, where you were born and raised, and how these things kind of materialized and happened for you to turn into this passion that you have for life.
Absolutely. I tell people I'm an urban belle. That means I was actually born in an urban city, Washington, D.C., but I was raised in a small town. A few months after I was born, my family moved to a small town in North Carolina. So I grew up in a very tight-knit community, very small town. Everyone knew everybody, you know. And so, but it was a sense of community that helped support me in order, you know, figuring out what my path was going to be. Again, I did well in school, you know, very social, you know, had different clubs, all those kind of things. But I'm also the youngest of 5 children. So my father and my mom, especially my dad, was very adamant about making sure we did well in school. And so I knew that was the expectation, is that I needed to show up and do what I needed to do. So in all of that, you know, again, I was in a community, a home where I was allowed to express myself. You know, I was allowed to ask questions. I was allowed to be me. One of the things I tell my mom and my dad all the time is that I commend them for not making me feel like I was being compared to my older siblings. You know, they let me be me. But where I found the struggle a lot of times was at school or in the community, where I got other messages that who I was wasn't enough, wasn't good enough, all those kind of things. So learning how to balance all of that but still strive to be who I am was one of the things that I continue to work with. So I know there are a lot of people like me who have done well but still struggle with messages of you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, all these things that now I know aren't true. And so I work to help empower other people to dismantle those negative thoughts and beliefs that may be holding them back.
The other thing that really fuels us are those that we look up to, role models, heroes. Who's been that for you in your life?
I always cringe when people ask me that question because it's not one person. It's several people. I can say my parents, my siblings, my family, people in my community, people at my church. And so it's not been one person that I've looked up to. It's been several people who have poured into my life and helped me at different stages of my journey to be the person I am today. So I credit it to a village. You know, it's the old proverb to say it takes a village to raise a child. And so that has been my story. Not one person can, other than God, can get credit for my development, because there have been so many people along my journey who have helped me in so many, and big and small ways, but have really made an impact in my life. But I'll start with my family, you know, my biological family, my church family. I've had mentors and coaches and teachers, again, you know, business coaches along the way that have helped me on this journey. So I attribute it to a number of different people.
So if you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now and have a conversation with them, who would it be? Who would you love to meet and talk to?
Oprah. I haven't met Oprah yet. I love her story. I love her journey. I found myself in her story a lot of times. So definitely her. And if I can choose another person, Michelle Obama, you know, just powerful women who, again, I see myself in them. They've been definitely a great role models for me. And so those are the, you know, first Oprah and then hopefully Michelle Obama.
So, you know, every day we wake up, everybody, you know, they have things they look forward to. They have, you know, an agenda, things that get them out of the bed. What is it that motivates you? What is it that you ultimately look forward to each and every day?
Right now, I look forward to just getting up, right? But also just getting about my life and really creating a life that I love even more. But my ultimate thing is I really love serving people. I really love going and showing up, working with my speech therapy clients or even working with my coaching clients. I love helping people to get their breakthroughs, to help them build their confidence, to just feel more empowered. That inspires me, you know, to take someone from one state to another. And again, it just speaks to possibilities every day. Every day I wake up, I don't know what the day may hold, you know, and so that gets me going. That gets me looking forward to what's next, you know, because life has continued to unfold, and it's a beautiful journey if we really embrace it and embark on it. Yes, it can be challenging at times. You know, there are, you know, trials and tribulations I think we all go through. But at the end of the day, you know, it's an unfolding journey that I thank God every day I get to wake up to experience.
So how do you quantify a good day? When you sit back at the end of the day and look back at what you did in a day, what is it that you say, hey, that was a good day?
I got through it, because, some days are hard, that's just life. But some days, like today's been a little easier today. I've been doing some things, that, been able to be in my creative space today. I'm excited about that. But a good day is like I got through it. Some lessons learned, even if I fell down, okay, it was a good day. I got back up, to fight another day. And so, but also, how to define a good day may vary on the day, so it just depends, but that's the beauty of it. We get to define it for how we get to define it. And so today I say it's a good day because, I've been able to be creative in my own space today.
So let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into the younger version of yourself, say in your 20s, and you can use the wisdom that you've gained throughout your life, the roads that you've been down. What would you tell your younger version based on what you've learned in your life up to this point?
I would tell her to chill out. Chill out. I call myself a recovering overachiever. I got to get it right. Oh, I got to work. Just chill out. It's not that, I tell people it's not that deep. It's not that big of a deal. I just felt like, in my earlier years, I just made such a big deal out of things that now aren't a big deal, And so I would tell her to chill out, embrace who she is, every part of her, the good, the bad, and the ugly, But I would definitely tell her to relax a lot more, chill out, enjoy life, take more time for self. And not so much, I used to do a lot in my 20s, here, there, working and doing this. And so I would just say, take more time for yourself and enjoy the journey more so than just trying to get on to the next. I think back then I was just in hustle mode and go, that I didn't take time to really enjoy what I was doing.
At the end of the day, when you look back on all the things that you do and all the things that you accomplish, you have to give a lot of yourself. How do you balance that between giving what you need to give to your clients and then giving back to yourself as well? How do you balance all of that out?
Not very well sometimes. So again, I've gotten better with it, but definitely learning to step back and say, enough is enough. Now I've gotten to the point where in the evenings I disconnect, I turn the phone down and I make sure I get do my bedtime routine, because now I understand that in order for me to really serve at the capacity I want to serve and need to serve, I need to replenish myself. For many years, I remember periods of burnout, because I would go, and I'm like, I burn out, and then I try to replenish myself, and then go again and get burned out. But now I'm more aware of when I need to take a step back to make sure that I am replenished, I am filled back up so that I can serve again, because a lot of us serve out of an empty cup. And so we try to give, and there's nothing in the tank, And so I've learned to do better by that. I have better boundaries. I've learned to say no. That doesn't work for me. More often when things really don't work for me, when it's not in my best interest. And so I definitely have gotten better with it over the years. I plan to continue to get even better with that and learning how to have as much balance as I can. I know sometimes throughout my life or what's going on in my life, it may not be balanced, but I can always get back to where I'm taking better care of myself.
So the one thing that's great about books is that they really do move us, and they move us to either write or read, and they have a profound effect on us. What was that book for you growing up that really opened up the curtains for you?
Several books. I can't think of one other than the book that comes to mind is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. That was by Maya Angelou, and just hearing her story of how she stayed quiet for so long, but then found her voice. And I think that's the message for a lot of people. However we may lose our voices, it's power when we find it, when we reclaim who we are, regardless of the experiences we may have gone through or what people may have said, that our voices have power, and it's up to us to use it. And so that book, along with several other ones, have helped me to understand the power of your voice and speaking your truth and how powerful it is for you and also for people around you.
So for all the clients and the people that have been affected by your work, what's been one of the best responses or fan letters you've ever received?
just when people tell me, just thank you for your help, or they appreciate what I've tried to do, or in terms of helping them. But one of my favorite things to hear somebody say is like, "Oh, I never thought of it like that before," because that to me now the door of possibilities has now opened, and because we have to continue to stay open to new ideas, new perspectives, new experiences. Because if we don't, that stunts our growth. It don't allow us to evolve as human beings. So I love when someone says, "Oh, well, I didn't see it that way," or "Oh, that was good. That's that made me think differently." I love that. Or working with a child, who may not have felt good about their speech, but now they're talking and they're communicating and they're able to express themselves. Those kind of things are powerful. And so I just think it's a privilege to be able to serve people in that way. And so I just love to say, "I didn't see it that way," or you gave me something to think about,
I can personally attest to that. My son's on the autism spectrum. His name's Miles, and when he was really young, he did speech therapy and he didn't talk for a long time. And I remember asking the therapist several times, "Just tell me. I just want to know what to expect. If he's not going to talk, just tell me." And she just kept telling me he's going to talk. And he's been talking for quite a while now, and it's wonderful. But I do remember in the beginning, and I did very much so value the fact that she sacrificed a lot to get him to that point. So I'm deeply appreciative of speech therapy and how it's worked for my son.
Oh, wonderful. Happy for you and your family, Mal. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's great, for sure. So, everyone out there has a perception of you. You have clients, family, friends, and everyone has and sees you in a certain role, but ultimately you live your life. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Ooh, that's a good question. Who do I think I love that, because I'm always asking my clients that, "Well, who do you think you are?" And now someone's asking me that, like, whoa, I don't know. Now. Exactly. It's like, ooh, I think I am a evolving human being, I truly really embrace that. I don't get so down on myself or hard on myself when I mess up, but I think I am an evolving human being, spiritual being, having an earthly experience. And so I think I am flawed. I think I am amazing. I think I'm all those things. I am a dynamic, ever-evolving spiritual human being having an earthly experience.
So if anyone out there wants to learn more about you and anything revolving around your world, where's the best place for them to go?
I tell them to go to my website, which is onyouramazingnow.com. Again, onyouramazingnow.com. Start there, or they can follow me on social media, Facebook at Dr. Denise, On Your Amazing. There's where I hang out. I do a weekly Facebook Live on Thursdays called Think About It Thursday. I try to get people to think about what they're thinking about. And so check me out on the website and also follow me on social media.
Denise, thank you very much for opening up. This has been wonderful. Continued success and have a great 2023.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.